Chanjian, Chambumanamge, Kyungbe. Paro. And for our family pledge, I'd like to invite Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상 세계와 대상적 지상 세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 효통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 신정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 자녀급 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. And for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Vera Sumagari. Vera, if you could please unmute and pray for us. Vera? Yeah.
Heavenly Parents, we come before you with a grateful heart today to begin yet another day with you. And as always, we feel not really truly qualified to be with our true parents and to be called your children. There's still so many things lingering on in our lives, in our characters and in our natures that have absolutely nothing to do with heaven. But we continue every day, Heavenly Parent. We will not give up until we can stand before you with a pure heart and a pure mind and be truly your sons and your daughters who have inherited your heart and your love, and who in a moment's instance of a moment can give your love and your mind and your soul to people whom we meet on the streets, in our homes, wherever we are. Most loving Heavenly Parent, and I was in Korea and we had this blessing in the big stadium, and the mother gave a speech and she was standing there by herself. I felt such great loneliness. I felt something isn't right. She shouldn't be there alone. Her family should be with her. Even we should be standing with her, but still true mother is standing alone. I pray that every day we can do something to take that loneliness away, even if it's very small, but still we can reach out to others, share your heart and share your love, and bring more brothers and sisters back home to you. This is the mother's heart. Saved one more person today. This is the mother's heart that I want to inherit, and that we all need to inherit. Please guide us through this day, Heavenly Parent, that this can be a day that can really count for your providence. We report you in the name of Ichiroi and Virat Sumagari, all brothers and sisters represented here. Amen and adieu.
Adieu. Thank you, Vera. Thank you so much. All right, brothers and sisters, let's take a few minutes to go into our breakout rooms and share our gratitude and appreciation. See you back in 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a very good sharing. I'd like to ask Ray Beth, if you could please offer your sharing for us this morning.
Yeah, anyway, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I dreamed an event that hasn't happened yet the other day. We had a big buzzing in an auditorium setting. And Reverend Milhan said he was glad that he had that we had done it because he had a chance to practice his speech for that he was going to give at Sunday service the next day. And I was thinking, well, I didn't know Reverend Stevens was giving the sermon every Sunday. And then I dreamed a song that was going like 50-person choir was singing, God is searching for you. God is looking for you. God is waiting. God is waiting. God is waiting for you.
Wow.
And I woke up frantically trying to turn my cell phone on to record it so I didn't lose the song. Then I woke up and I realized, oh, that's an event that hasn't happened yet. So I guess we can look forward for more to come.
Absolutely. Yeah, a million couples getting blessed in Times Square by Reverend Milhan and Sayaka Stevens.
It would be a good start.
Right, the auditorium event, that's leading up to it. Sure.
Why not?
All right, family, next we'll have our Gottable reading by Pastor Milhan.
Yeah, thank you for your sharings, and let's enjoy our Gottable for today.
Welcome to Gottable, a daily reading of holy texts known in the Unificationist community as Hundoke. Today we are reading from the Champumogyang.
Champumogyang, Book 6. The World Tours and the Global Mission. Chapter 2, Section 5, Washington Monument. The Washington Monument Rally to commemorate America's bicentennial was held successfully on September 18, 1976. It drew more than 300,000 people. This rally gained much attention because it took place at a time when the American government, religious circles, and media were carrying out a full-scale offensive against the Unification Church. On this day, True Father delivered a message entitled America and God's Will, and declared that God had summoned him to this country to proclaim a new revelation in order to lead the young people of America, the leaders of tomorrow, out of decadence and back to him. The Washington Monument Rally attracted an enormous crowd in a short time. The Washington Monument Rally is the moment when the 6,000 providential years will reach a crossing point, when indemnity will be paid for heaven and earth, with the world on the line. An urgent time that makes you catch your breath is upon us. This is why we are going to Washington, D.C. The people of the world will not understand. I am risking my life to do this. This is not for my sake, but for the sake of bringing a victory for God. Even if the entire world opposes me, and even if God does not help me, I will go this way to restore completely and put everything back in order through indemnity, the things that humanity opposed. I will move beyond this time when it is hard to breathe. I will think, I am the only one left. In that sense, I am a pitiable man, a lonely man, and God cannot help me. You are being compelled to participate through my influence. But you know that if you do not, your nation, ancestors, and sons and daughters will perish. In that sense, you do not have a choice. That is why when Jesus was on his path to the cross, he told the people not to weep for him, but for their nation and children. You are not doing this for my sake, but for the sake of your nation and descendants. Do not do it for me. You do not owe me anything. I know that if I do not do this, not only will your nation, ancestors, and descendants go to ruin, but so will the world. If I do not go on, the world and even God's hope will come to ruin. That is why I have to continue, even at the risk of my life. The Washington Monument Rally is the final obstacle to overcome as I realize the dream of completing the worldwide course of indemnity, which I must achieve before I turn 61. This is going over the hill of Golgotha during my lifetime. Everyone, including the U.S. State Department and Justice Department, opposed me because of the Washington Monument Rally. The entire world rose in opposition, and the movement to deport me developed. At that time, I sent missionaries to the world, and they stood up to and confronted the worldwide persecution. We were unjustifiably attacked, but we were resurrected through the victory of the Washington Monument Rally. Indemnity was paid on the levels of the individual, family, tribe, people, nation, and world. All accounts from the past were settled. From the day that the Unification Church was established, the entire world and Satan pushed back against us. This was the final war. We did not hold the Washington Monument Rally for my sake or for the Unification Church. The Unification Church has suffered a great deal of loss. The church is a sacrifice of human resources and economic resources. It is basically a sacrifice in all respects. Nevertheless, at the risk of my life, I remain determined. I heard that at the time of the Yankee Stadium rally, 12 organizations plotted my death. There will be many more at the time of the Washington Monument Rally. The opposition also knows that Reverend Moon will exert himself fully, because this rally is the last obstacle to overcome. That is why they are also gathering all their strength. They have formed an alliance and are meeting to plan their opposition. They will start a riot, or do whatever it takes, even inviting communist collaborators to sabotage this rally. They are trying in every way, up to the level of the State Department and upper echelons of government, to stop me from speaking. The Unification Church was globally persecuted in 1976. Even so, we sent missionaries to 37 locations. During the most intense period of persecution, we held the Yankee Stadium rally in New York. We also held a rally of 300,000 at the Washington Monument. After the Yankee Stadium rally, we received the permit to hold the Washington Monument rally. The U.S. government had no way to get out of giving us the permit. We were going to hold a historic rally in just 40 days. The U.S. government was in a real bind. Even they could not deal with this situation, and we could not retreat. God created the democratic system to uphold the freedom of religion globally. It was created to protect God's will in the era of the second advent of Christ. I rewrote my speech 4 times for the Washington Monument Rally. Even though I prayed fervently and offered much sincere devotion, I could not settle on a final version. The question is, why does God work like this? The day was approaching closer and closer. Yet I could not decide on the content of my speech, and my heart was now in a state troubled beyond words. That is why, with 1 week left, I had the feeling I would have to just drag myself there. It is not that God does not know me. He does, and so I firmly believed that heaven would guide me during my speech. I thought the more I believed this to be the case, the more my speech would be the kind to draw people in and melt their hearts. I think that is why, at the time of the rally, people were caught up by the spiritual atmosphere and shouted without even being aware of it. At the Washington Monument Rally on September 18, 1976, I had the same seriousness as someone with a death sentence walking to the gallows. In preparation, there were many mornings I mistook for nights, and many nights I mistook for mornings. Only God and I know this. This was the turning point in history for me to offer the highest sincere devotion to God, a day of sacrifice for the sake of all people. God was waiting for this moment, and I took the responsibility to be the officiator. I knew that the world would perish if, in place of the world and its many religions, I did not reach God's heart and pull His love down to this earth. We give gratitude to God, not to me, that on that day so many people gathered and everything proceeded smoothly without any incidents. You probably do not know that after having established the indemnity conditions in America on the levels of the individual, family, tribe, people, nation, and world, I was raised up to a new level. Although I say this, you do not truly understand what it means. This is the reason I am pushing you to set the worldwide indemnity condition. The Washington Monument Rally holds this significance. It was the most serious time in my life. My heart in front of heaven and all humanity was like that of a person who was going to his execution. I felt as if I were going to the scaffold. The atmosphere in the spirit world and on earth was that serious. The Yankee Stadium rally in New York and the Washington Monument rally that we held in 1976 were global events. For better or worse, the American people all came to know about me. I fulfilled my portion of responsibility. The spirits of people, whether they lived in the West or in Africa, cannot accuse me. People on earth also cannot accuse me. We can say that 1976 was the year of Reverend Moon and the Unification Church. Newsweek magazine featured an article about me being one of the world's most influential people in 1976. These people did not write this article because they liked me, but because this is the truth. I have completely fulfilled my responsibility in front of all the people in the spirit world and on earth. I have fulfilled all my responsibilities in front of the American citizens. Through the Washington Monument Rally, I completed everything. Even those who oppose me cannot help but compliment me and say that Reverend Moon is an outstanding person. I proclaim that all the conflict that has been going on since I came to America has been settled through the Washington Monument Rally. When I arrived in Washington, D.C. on December 18, 1971, I thought, Jesus could not fight in Rome, but I will fight in America, the nation that represents the democratic world, and I will bring victory. My thoughts back then are still fresh in my mind today. The American media and the people opposed me and the Unification Church, but we overcame that opposition. I believe that holding a rally of this...
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Godable. Godable is brought to you by the
Yeah, thank you, God, your parents, for these words today. Yeah, I'm sure many of you were there at this tremendous event. I mean, some of you were organizing buses, chicken dinners, part of the event itself, the performances, outreach locally. I remember watching, some footage, some interviews, and it was a very patriotic event. Really, America really needed this. And this was a bicentennial year, 1976, and celebrating God in America. I mean, it's a big theme. Father said it several times in this speech or in these speeches here, that it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about God in America. America needs to realize how precious she is to the world. And if America falls to communism or any godless ideology, it will perish, and so many people will suffer around the world. And so I'm really grateful for this rally, and but there were a lot of tremendous sacrifice. It was absolutely victorious, but there's a huge cost, and so much stress and pressure to put this together. And I believe it was 3 to 6 weeks. I forget how many weeks it was. It was right after the last event. So it was wild. And so for me, I relate to the Madison Square Garden event that we did. That, as big and tremendous as that was, for those who I'm sure you remember, we only had 6 weeks to put that together. And I'll never forget when Dr. Balcom and Dr. Kim came back from Korea. They were so clear and confident to put this together. We didn't even secure the venue. We weren't even sure if we had Madison Square Garden at all. And Dr. Balcom was like, "Yeah, we're going to do this event, and we've already declared victory. And Milhan, you're going to run it." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" A lot of people were not excited about doing rallies again, and it took a lot of persuasion to move people's hearts. But I'll tell you what, at that very moment, I went to the prayer room. Thank God we had a prayer room in the headquarters. But I went there, and I got my confirmation that, Milhan, it's all about unity. If we're united, there's nothing we cannot do. I was like, okay. So I united, and Madison Square Garden was an amazing event, really tremendous. A lot of miracles took place to make it happen. Yes, big sacrifice, big cost. But I do reflect back, and I learned a lot. I grew a lot. In some ways, I feel like it was for my growth, my personal growth. And so I'm grateful. I am. Yeah, right here. You're not doing this for my sake, but for the sake of your nation and descendants. You know, America really needs to wake up and it's not look at true parents as like this ideologue who's coming for radical change, but look closely and see, wow, the true parents have made huge effort to help America. And so if we just see it that way, wow, I mean, we can receive the blessings, so many blessings that they want to give. Again, we give gratitude to God, not to me. That on that day, so many people gathered and everything proceeded smoothly without incidents. I mean, this was on the foundation of Yankee Stadium, so we already had that. I think we've already paid the price with Yankee Stadium. So now this event, even though we had even less time to prepare, you know, it's all about, is heaven moved? As Dr. Young always tells us, like, you know, if we can move heaven, heaven can feel compassion and sympathy for us, then they will support and we can make anything happen. So it was smooth. I'm sure many of you might need to testify to that, but people came. I always come back to this too, you know, what is our responsibility exactly? You know, I think each of us needs to find what our ministry is, what our, you know, what our tribal messiahship looks like. How are we reaching out? Is it flower fundraising? Is it starting a ministry? You know, what is the gifts that God's given you to share with the world? And here, Father's working on his own ministry, which is to just reveal the truth itself. Like Nikola Tesla, you know, introducing all of this technology into the world, even though he couldn't see the products that came from his inventions. So too, true parents. So too, all these you know, early innovators and religious founders. None of them could see the fruits of their labor until, you know, many centuries later, even. So we see our true Father, and just he's like, I have to do my responsibility. It may not be nice, it may not sound good. I might be killed for saying this, you know, talking about people plotting his death. It may not be nice, but I have to fulfill my responsibility. I have to let the people know. If I don't do that, I cannot live with myself. And so, by golly, we did it. You know, of course, it would be preferable to develop this ministry over time, and, you know, make relationships and you know, partnerships and work with people. That's ideal, and that's something that we're blessed to be able to do. But our true parents did not have that luxury. You know, Father was going to be deported. You know, Father did not have time, so we had to do these crazy events, so that we had to let people know who true parents are, what their message is. And so he did it. I fulfilled my portion of responsibility, and I feel good knowing that he did that. I also understand that there may not be a lot of, you know, practical development from these rallies, but and spiritually, they're very important. As I understand, in spirit world, these rallies become like meeting places. So whoever attended that rally will be able to meet with anyone who attended that rally. Because when you go to spirit world, there's no clarity of time and space. So you're kind of, you know, you're drifting around. But if you attended one of these events, you can meet any of those people. So it becomes kind of like a meeting place. So it's so for every event that you attended, or, you know, you helped organize, those become like pillars of light in spirit world. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal. And And lastly here, I'm just so moved by this, this is Father's heart. He's like, Jesus couldn't do the things that Father could do. You think about Jesus who just looked out and said, not one person will listen to what I have to say. Even his own disciples cannot understand. And if he says a little bit too much, he will be killed. And that's what happened. You think that's exactly what happened. He was crucified. He was made an example of. Here's what we do to people who speak up against the status quo. We kill you, straight up. There's no laws, there's no protection for you. If you say something we don't like, we're just gonna kill you. That was Jesus's time. But Father, how grateful he was, even though he himself was almost killed for speaking out the truth in North Korea, living in Hungnam prison for almost 3 years. Even Father who already went that path, he's still so grateful. In America, he can speak. He has the freedom to speak. And Jesus could not fight in Rome, but I will fight in America, the nation that represents the democratic world, and I will bring victory. So this is Father's heart, is to complete Jesus's responsibility, liberate Jesus Christ, liberate God who's been even more than Jesus, right? Since the beginning of time, been crying out. If anyone would speak for God on God's behalf and not be threatened to be killed, wow, what a blessing that is. How grateful Father is for America. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, America's in trouble again. And if we don't do our responsibility, America will no longer have those freedoms anymore. So please, we have to unite Christianity. We have to create a society that puts God in the center and family in the center. Then we'll be fine. We'll be okay. We'll be much, much, much better than okay. So thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. All right, brothers and sisters, let's take a few minutes, go into our breakout rooms. See you back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you had a great sharing. Reverend Sebastian, would you like to share?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm totally excited about Samsung Tokudo, who gave a testimony about working in the supermarket. He's not going to be with us tomorrow because he has to be at the supermarket. And then he explained to us, maybe he should explain it to us. Maybe you should ask him to share. It was so exciting. Yeah.
Samsung, can you share a short, a minute? I think you might be muted.
Well,
No.
I'm not for a testimony or anything, but I really love Melting Pot, New York, where I was born in spiritually. So, I never forget. And the father's teaching there. And when I was in New York, my mission was 360 homes visiting. And, without loving our 360 homes, how I can take off my fallen nature. That was maybe first things. When I found out about God, when I find out about our fallen nature and sin, how I can take off my sin, and I don't like myself sometimes. How I can change my heart is serving 360 homes. So every morning I got this newspaper and a broom in my hands and visiting my home church. And that was the start. So since then, whenever I go to the 360 home church, without serving, I never change. But Father put me onto restaurant business. So restaurant business, I don't need to go out. I just welcome the customer, welcome the people, open up the restaurant and clean up and prepare and welcome the people. Then, I don't need to go out, but now they start to coming to see us, how I can welcome and how I can serve for their family, for their guests, important guests they sometimes bring. It's very sincere, artistic heart to welcome them. So that was that is our life. Melting Pot, New York. So many different people are visiting. Welcome from all around the world. Here is a model of Melting Pot, one family under God. And I still remember that the public speech, what you have to say in on the front of a public library. Yes, ideal. People are looking for ideal to visit. Visit in New York. So it's a great thing. And
Thank
then, yeah.
That grocery store is lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. For our representative prayer, our closing prayer, can I ask Reverend Sebastian, can you please pray our closing prayer?
Dear Heavenly Parent, thank you so much for allowing me to see your handiwork. It's amazing, Tokuno-san's testimony about not liking himself and going out to serve people, 1,000 people, like Father said. Our tribe in the home church area is about 1,000 people. If you serve that many people, maybe after a while, like myself. And that's exactly right. I'm amazed because yesterday, you Heavenly Parent, you came to me and I stepped out into my home church area just to one step into it. Even though I'm living in it, I step out onto the street and you confirmed me because I was depressed. And you said to me, I love you because you stepped out in your home church area. I'm waiting for you in the home church area. So I'm so grateful for that heavenly processing unit, which connects to any place that we go. If we go to the supermarket, or go down the street, or we sit in a bus, or go on the subway, all these people are somehow related to that area. But parents are grateful for this amazing reading this morning, also with Washington Monument, where True Father then afterwards tried to figure out how to bequeath the victory of Washington Monument to all of us. And it was taking up the home church area, declaring it, 360 homes at that time, now 430, to really bring everything together, have that central processing unit like a telephone in our hand, and be able to connect to it every day. When the parents, such an amazing history, an amazing way that True Father has been working and True Mother have been working, putting themselves on the line, to think and then to life and death. And I pray in gratitude as we come together I pray now in 7 minutes for this state of New York, for the city of New York, for the Big Apple, for the empire, for the parent that's writing now. Pray that we can join with you, because you have been waiting for that moment, with Milhan running Madison Square Garden #2. Heavenly Parent, we have amazing, wonderful young people with us, and we pray we can really watch them closely and follow them and do everything to support them. I pray this together with my brothers and sisters here in the name of Special Matthew, Katie Hoymer, blessed and the family, Aju.
Aju. Thank you, Reverend Sebastian, so much. Thank you. All right, let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. Jesus.
Good
Dear
morning.
God,
And to want to thank you, Stephen,
our children, Father, and parents,
Pastor Glenn Townsend, for the work
how we can
you have been excited to conduct, Father. Pray that we, each one of us, truly bring the victory of Washington after Washington, my Lord Spirit.
who are born here,
Bring that spirit to all the people. Thank Blossom, Father, for
you are parents,
for Kathleen,
applying
for Meow,
original ideas of
Song,
Bold and excited
Dr.
to
Sonneborn,
be in an environment
the
of
loss, Father,
absolute complete freedom.
parents,
New ideas,
truth, propellers, Father, Leslie Young, Father,
spirit
and then
Jesus, by the spirit of
Top
true parents,
So many ways, so trouble.
Yomiko in Japan, coming back,
Created
Christian,
parents
family,
we parents, we are
Mel, my
grateful.
sister,
Pilgrim Fathers,
Desmond, for the
spiritual
trees,
Elder sonship, and then
the Horowitz family,
birthright,
for
and then
Melissa,
religious leaders,
for
talent,
Joel, Father,
and kingship.
New England.
Father, pray for
You really
Father,
walk the 8
therefore,
stages
Talbot,
use
Dr.
your
by all
heart,
dispensation of
Working along
completion.
with
community,
expecting,
Welcome,
anticipation,
praying for
welcome,
us.
always
welcome
all
all this.
around us.
It's
But
time
who
that we
really
are
can
the
stand
Each of
Miles,
us can overcome
for you?
obstacles.
Lord,
Who really stand?
Peace and true self.
Tycho Tower, Father, Daniel Chavez,
We are very sorry.
Protect
We are
us.
very sorry that we are very
Knowledge that we have a long way to go.
each one of
as
our brothers and
individuals,
sisters come together here with
as
Janelle and
Today,
Jean, pray for the
as a
success of
family,
her husband and
more
her
joy,
son.
joy on
Man,
our
we
joy.
want to thank you so much for your continuous
Till your kingdom
encouragement.
comes.
the state level,
Pray,
Open
Father,
our
for
minds,
John
open
to
our
be
hearts,
healthy enough to
limited,
step out in
maintenance for us.
his
ignorant,
nursing home
under
and
ignorant,
people.
but only
The
you,
love that we
the
have.
heavenly
Father, in this
parents,
right this time.
Jesus,
Share that.
our true
Michael
parents.
Will
Parks
expand our faith.
tomorrow,
Oh,
Father, that I can give
walk
him
away.
the Washington
You really
Monument speech,
overcome
Father, and the Yankee
difficulties.
Stadium speech, Father.
Love your enemy.
Pray together with Miles, please wake
Forgive your
America.
I don't care
enemy.
how many people understand it right now.
Woman, Father, to really reach
To
out
learn
to
how to
her.
reconciliate
These are
All the
three
churches,
our enemies
communities,
all around the
all
world.
together with Holly
Without
and Mike
reconciliation,
Maria
we
and
do not
Teresa, the
know how
Heavenly
to
Father.
We're not
reconciliate.
just a church.
Tonight,
Peter Norton, his
nothing
family.
happened.
We're a family.
with each one of my brothers and sisters in the state of Queens, Father, Long Island, Father, and Brooklyn, and Staten Island, and Flushing, Manhattan especially, the Center Place, Father, the Big Apple, Golden Apple, beautiful apple,
Next
Father.
100 years,
An apple a
every
day,
day.
commonest my way, Heavenly Parent. I pray, Father, that unite with each other, as Bill was saying, unite with each other, support each other, we can do it, Father. Welcome with Dr. Kim, now Mealhouse, Joshua,
Is the key to
Kathleen, Father. I pray that the Spirit you have
Father, membership
push back
not
all this nonsense. We can drive
membership is a losing.
dark world into the bottomless
Father, really can
bureaucracy of the community, Father.
bring
Father, strong
for the entire world.
valleys
stand together.
the Red Hook community,
Original ideal,
for the
ideal community,
community. There's any way, Father,
ideal
we
nation,
can every town, Heavenly
nation,
Parent,
ideal
that
community,
we can find the money.
ideal state,
That needs
ideal nation,
$1 million, Father. Maybe a lot more than that, $21 million. Father, that would be so wonderful. The parents for us to push back, Father. Our cause, those liberal there's George Soros. We don't like him. Tom Brother, he's wayward. Has set his life on destroying this nation, destroying the world, sitting down with this anger. We can liberate him from this anger. For the community, brothers and sisters, all the way from Niagara Falls, the Dutchess,
restore this world, all mankind,
peace, Father, each one of my brothers
people of
pray for all the brothers and sisters. We're waiting for this moment
some of them
to come
didn't
back
go,
out again.
but your heart,
Big man John, we come back out of those times covered with
Mars,
with a red hot spout.
how we keep
Families, communities, New York City, Father, the Harlem Center. We look to Albany
how much
Center.
you love us.
Really welcome Elizabeth, Julie, Watson,
How don't you love us?
Louise, Father, to really bring revival, Father, to the city.
I'm so
Please, Heavenly
grateful
Parent,
that
allow us to join together with your
sharing
the spirit that has carried Jesus. He endured and loved us even on the cross, Father. Your Father left us as hung in prison. He left me, Father, on the way. Father, he left me, even though I didn't know how to stay awake.
Manhattan churches,
Me, even though I could not
given us this
understand what I was doing, Father.
to serve you.
Chair. Thank you, everyone. I believe we have announcements. Well, there's an announcement in the chat that Reverend Milham put.
Oh, Reverend Josh, can you put that up there? Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Please bring your attention to the chat for our prayer request form and the Zoom etiquette and Juanita's message. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Happy Tuesday.
Have a nice day, everybody. Have a nice
Blessed day.